class. Tonight on the Pass Network, we're here to talk about Child of God by Cormac McCarthy. Published in 1793, the novel takes place in Tennessee during the 1960s. What was most engaging about this novel was the main character, Lester Ballard. Having no friends or family, Ballard was outcasted from society, living in isolation. As the book progresses, Ballard becomes more and more separate from society, and McCarthy's writing style throughout the book can be confusing and hard to follow. He uses a different type of writing style involving simple punctuation, no colons or semicolons, and no quotation marks. The quote that I chose to best represent this book is as follows. Whatever voice spoke to him was no demon, but some old shed self that came yet from time to time in the name of sanity. A hand to gentle him back from the rim of his disastrous wrath. I chose this quote because it allows the reader to feel sympathy for the character even in the wake of his many crimes. Thank you, and please join us in our next segment of the Pass Network.
Good evening, and welcome back to the Pass Network. Today we'll be discussing Ernest Hemingway's Farewell to Arms. Hemingway was birthed in 1899 in Cicero, also known as Oak Park, Illinois. He writes this drab but exquisite book that tells the tragic story of Frederick Henry in World War I Italia, who was a World War I ambulance driver for the Italian army that falls in love with the British Catherine Barclay. Interestingly enough, this is tied in with his own personal experiences in the war, where he was an ambulance driver and also where he met his first wife. Now, some of the most engaging parts of the novel was his writing style, which would consist of run-on sentences, some of which would carry on through almost half a page. But with these run-on sentences, he would successfully incorporate the fine detail of scenery. Let's take this excerpt as an example. His legs were toward me, and above the knee, one leg was gone, and the other was held by tendons a part of the trouser, and the stump twitched and jerked as though it were not connected. How gruesome. On a final note, there is some question of Hemingway's sexual orientation, that he is bisexual. Take this passage as an example. Open the bottle. Bring a glass. Drink that, baby. How is your poor head? I looked at your papers, baby. How is your poor head? You haven't any fracture. I would take you and never hurt you. This is between the main character and his roommate in the bunker in the Italian army. Questionable? Well, that is all the time we have. We'll see you in the next one. This is Pastor Ellie signing off the Pass Network.